बुम नमस्ते सबैजनालाई म आकाश राउत MBBS मा अब जुनियर इन्टर्न भइसक्यो द्याट इज फाइनल इयर एन्ड वेलकम टु यु अल अन माई च्यानल द्याट इज आकाश बायोलोजी है सो मैले तपाईँहरूलाई अलि रिस पनि उठाएको होला किनभने पार्ट 1 भिडियो हालिदिन्छु त्यसपछि पार्ट 2 लागि निकै दिन तपाईँहरूलाई कुराउँछु त्यसको लागि म पहिलेदेखि मुरी मुरी के भन्छ त त्यसको लागि माफी माग्न चाहन्छु एन्ड आजको भिडियो भनेको के को बारेमा हो त जुन हामी पार्ट 1 भिडियोमा बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियर मिशल पोखरेलसँग कुरा गरेको थियौँ उनले भनेको ब्याचलर्स भनेको इन्डियाबाट गरेका छन् र मास्टर्स भनेको युकेबाट गरेका छन् सो यो पार्ट 2 भिडियोमा हामीले उनसँग कुरा गरेका छौँ नेपाल भर्सेस युकेमा के कस्ता डिफ्रेन्सहरू थिए इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर एन्ड कोर्स डिजाइनमा नेपालमा बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियरिङको कोर्स कसरी डिजाइन गरिएको छ सँगसँगै जब प्रस्पेक्ट के कस्ता छन् नेपालमा स्पेसली त्यो बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियरिङ गरेर के कस्ता कुराहरू गर्न सकिन्छ र लास्टमा उनको मेसेज फर स्टुडेन्ट पनि भन्ने कुरा मैले हालेको छु सो पहिलाहरू तपाईँ यो पुरै भिडियोलाई इन्जोय गर्नुहोस् र त्यसपछि हामी बल्ल कुरा गर्नेछौँ
to achieve a result.
Done your masters in UK. That's a very advanced country where research are being so much given priority. Then you again return back to Nepal. Then what are the things that you have faced as a clinic, as a biomedical engineer, as a fellow, that things that needs to be modified or things that needs to be changed?
See, the thing is, every country is run in its own way. No? Just because UK is developed doesn't mean it's a happy country or it's a good country. Definitely, it's a wonderful country. I don't have anything against the UK. And, but the differences I found when I came to Nepal and when I was in the UK, just I literally had to explain myself that I cannot, what do you call, is it okay if I speak in English because I cannot communicate in Nepali that well. The reason I say this is because when I first came, I always studied outside. But in Nepali, high school now, but when you don't speak a language for 4 or 5 years, you kind of lose the basic grasp of it. मलाई आउँछ नबोल्न आउने होइन तर आई क्यान नट लाइक युज हाई फाई वर्ड्स मलाई आउँदैन त्यसरी बोल्न आउँदैन होइन त्यो हुँदाखेरि के भन्दाखेरि आई वाज रिगार्डेड एज एरोगेन्ट एन्ड आई वाज लाइक पोर्ट्रेड एज एरोगेन्ट तर द्याट्स नट मी आई एम जस्ट डुइङ द बेस्ट आई क्यान म नेपालीमा बोल्न सक्छु भने डेफिनेटली आई वुड हेभ म त frankly speaking I would prefer knowing Nepali than English. I tell my students the same thing होइन अब डिफरेन्सेस के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि you should first of all कस्तो छ भने अब infrastructure is very necessary for a college education system as well. Yeah? And Nepal go any college, if you go to my college as well, the infrastructure is not very developed. And but I don't know if it's money crisis or it's because of government negligence. I'm not sure. And a private college, but it's definitely not government negligence. But I think government has a huge role to play in it as well because funding towards education is very less. And they don't regard funding at the highest of honors. You need to make sure that that happens. And education is one of the most important aspects for a country to develop. And right now you see it, you see it yourself. I'm a politician; they're not educated. And there's a reason why it's happening. I know that there's a reason why our education system is not so good. How do you expect a politician who hasn't studied at all to change the education system? And again, the other aspect is people like us, the youth. And the biggest problem with the youth, when I was in college, the most disappointing and the most like the drastic difference that I saw between UK and even like UK and India were similar. So Nepal was completely different. Was student unions present in engineering colleges? Student union हुन्छ युकेको युनिभर्सिटीमा पनि हुन्छ तर what the students union तिमीहरूको पनि छ होइन मेडिकल कलेजमा हुन्छ स्टुडेन्ट युनियनको काम चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि normally it's about making sure that students benefit from everything होइन to communicate what problems students have to teachers. It's basically a mediator between the administration and the teaching department and the students, right? That's what the student union is supposed to do. तर नेपालमा चाहिँ कस्तो छ स्टुडेन्ट युनियन भनेको चाहिँ it's like a political party.
Actually.
And that's one aspect that should be removed as soon as possible. Because I know students who are in first, second, third, fourth year who are so politically like they're so politically corrupt. I can't understand how they're going to become leaders. And you know what is even more scarier? More than uneducated politicians, educated politicians are much more scarier. Who have a degree, but then who can't utilize that degree. I don't know why they call them biomedical engineers. Biomedical engineers, they just pass. They don't know what aspects of biomedical engineering.
And the most pathetic part is they try to their education to defend their corrupt leaders. They don't try
Yes,
to enhance.
definitely. Yeah.
They don't try to enhance their skills or for the betterment of the country, but they try to their logic, the upcoming every logic to defend the corrupt politician. That's the most pathetic part I have ever seen.
Yes, yes, definitely. You're absolutely correct.
And sir, apart from this, and then why you choose to come to Nepal? Because you have a very good communication skill, and I have heard about you. You have you are academically so good. Then why you return to Nepal? Because that's a very tough decision to make when a person with a good academics has done masters in UK, then again returning to Nepal, and he, if far as know that the system of Nepal is so in local answer so corrupt that you will surely feel difficulty in doing the works over here. And was it a tough decision for you to make?
It wasn't a tough decision at all. I'm sure you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy, right? Where like you have your basic needs, and it's like a pyramid in this honey. So basically, it's human nature to seek one's identity. Right? And I'm very proud to be an Nepali. And this society, like more India porde, more UK porde, the कहाँबाट पढ्यो भन्दाखेरि because of Nepal. And it was not because of UK. It was not because of India. And Nepal gave me something. The society of Nepal has given me so much. And and the main reason I want to come back is we always complain about we are complaining about how the political system is bad. So what are we doing about it? God not the game I know. But how do we make sure that our voice is heard? But I'm still in the starting phases of it where I want to bring a huge change. I might be successful, I might not be successful. That's a different thing. But if I don't try, I will never know it. And what I want everyone, like if like students who are watching this from outside Nepal or maybe in Nepal, like every students, what they should know that if they want to change in the system, they have to be a part of it. They have to act on the system. And because this, at the end, what you should realize is this society is the one that has given you so much. And it's given you more than anything that, like, it's given so much to you. And at the end, it's your duty also to give back something to the society. And that's what, like, I want to do as well. I want to give back to the society because this society is suffering. There are many people who cannot voice their opinion. At least we are educated. After 1 year, you're in a fifth year, right? After 1 year, you're also going to become a doctor. And this means what are you going to do for the society? I know the society has given you so much. And I feel it's our duty as citizens, as patriotic citizens, to give something back to our country. And I feel most Nepalese, we talk about Buddha was born in Nepal and things like this, like, yes, I understand your sentiments. I'm not going against it. But by saying Buddha was born in Nepal, Nepal is not a great country. It doesn't make it a great country, does it? But development, making sure that the literacy rate reduces, making sure that every Nepalese in Nepal is getting free meals to eat, making sure that women and every child has an equal opportunity at education. होइन खैरेहरू चाहिँ आएर गर्छ they do that over here and they act and take like we did it in another country. They do it because to make sure that they have something to write in the CV. We do it because out of emotional support and out of emotional concern, out of empathy for people that are one of us basically, that are a part of us, that are part of the society. And I think as to change a society, we need to be a part of it. And that's what made me want to come back always. And I'm always going to be here no matter what. Even if I do for that, like even if after I complete my PhD, I'm definitely going to come back.
And sir, what are the career prospects after completing biomedical engineering? As you have told earlier, like the persons who just uh, notices all the equipment like CT scan or MRI. That is one aspect. Then what are the other things or job prospect that a biomedical engineer can do apart from doing in a hospital, just repairing
Okay,
instruments?
so one prospect is definitely, like you said, going and working in a hospital, right? The second prospect is going to industry. By industry, I mean a biomedical equipment manufacturing industry. Okay, so where you have different kinds of jobs, definitely. And so that's another prospect. The third prospect, Monica, working in labs, yeah, as research assistants. So it's a little different. I mean, it's similar to all fields. Like basically, all fields are like that as well. You either work in a like even if you go to let's say the economics field, you either work in a bank or you're like you're an analyst or something like that. So that's what it's about as well. So as a biomedical engineer, you either work in a hospital, you work in an industry. You can even switch fields to pharmaceutical industry, I know. And then you work in laboratories where you can do research work. And so I think, yeah, that's why I mean it's a developing field. It's going to take some time to have new job prospects as well. But even though it sounds less, I mean, how many hospitals are there in Nepal, and how many hospitals actually have the minimum amount of biomedical engineers that are required?
And
And
sir, what is the scope of biomedical engineering in Nepal? Because as you're talking about the pharmaceutical industry that are not being present in Nepal, in the research lab that are not being present in Nepal. So if a student completes biomedical engineering with respect to Nepal, then what are the job prospects for that student?
again, see, job prospects not as good as I would expect it to be. And for example, if like I'm interested in teaching पहिला देखि नै, and I was always interested in teaching as well. So I wanted to come back and make sure that like I impart my knowledge, whatever I have, whatever I've gained, whatever I've learned, basically. So that was my foremost goal. There are for people who study biomedical engineering in Nepal, most of the majority of them, at least 70 to 80% of the students, go outside to do the masters, you know, because they are less job perspective. And definitely in today's world, even you as a doctor, you know that directly after you do your internship, you have to do your masters, otherwise there's no job prospects for you, right? And so without doing a master's, I think it's going to be difficult to get any kind of job prospects. And Nepal is lagging behind that. First of all, biomedical engineering is an emerging field in the whole world. Temati in Nepal, it's 10 years is not a big thing. And 10 years is actually a small time to count when it comes to educational development in a certain aspect. And so definitely it's going to take time to develop. And our research labs that how there's a study, there's something called Intrepid Nepal, which is then on scale. And then we've got a neuroscience lab in Bubble Mall, I think. And now Kirtipur is doing plastic surgery. Like I approached them, they said, fine, let's set up a lab. But then again, I didn't have support. The government support was but without a DR to my name, it's going to be like, oh, who's this guy? Exactly smart. And so that aspect of it is there as well. It's going to take time, but it's the duty of the past students to come back and make sure that they develop job perspective. It's time that hospitals also recognize biomedical engineers as important as doctors and nurses. They're just not technicians; they're engineers who are actually going to help. If your ventilator doesn't work, a doctor can't go and do anything about it. You need a biomedical engineer to set it up, right?
So for the student who wants to pursue career in biomedical engineering, how is the course being designed in Nepal? How much duration does it take to complete the bachelor's, and how much course does it take? Can you please elaborate?
It's a 4-year course structure. So the first year is general, where you've got your subjects like basic cell biology, and the basic physics, chemistry, maths. These are all aspects of it. And as you go up, definitely you've got different kinds of subjects like biomaterials, and then tissue engineering. And you've got something called tissue device interactions. What happens when you insert a device into the body? Then you've got different engineering aspects, like you've got, for example, you need communication systems, and then you need computer systems, definitely. So, like I told you, it's a combination of 3 or 4 streams. So it's a 4-year course, not easy, pretty difficult, because engineering the thoughts are, you have to study biology as well. And biology, that too, you need to, frankly speaking, Hamileda in Manipal, the doctors used to teach us. And we had to learn the same amount as they should. Like, we should study with MBBS students to some extent. And so it's not an easy subject, but then again, it's a very interesting subject. But I'm not sure exactly the number of credit system, credit system Nepal. I'm not that familiar with it. But I think the bachelor's about like 220 credits, I think, or 180. I'm not sure. But Geo, it's a 4-year course, divided into 8 semesters, and you've got all three fields. I mean, you've got the engineering field as well and the medical aspect of it as well.
Sir, is it difficult for a student that has done graduation in Nepal to study masters in abroad?
Definitely not. That is a misconception because एउटा कुरा चाहिँ के गाह्रो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि अब your communication could be a little difficult होइन त्यो communication skills मा lacking हुन सक्छ नेपाली स्टुडेन्टहरू अब त्यो पनि अब like for example what I started doing when I came to Nepal and I started teaching was like I made sure that students were very like outspoken के होइन अब नेपाल अब कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि युजली वेन हाम्रो त्यो इनर बिङमै कस्तो छ भन्दाखेरि हामीले चाहिँ टिचरलाई चाहिँ क्वेसन सोध्नु हुँदैन भन्छ क्या एन्ड इभन इफ यु आस्क क्वेसन बी डराइ डराइ सोध्छ क्या होइन बट लाइक मेनी अफ माई टिचर्स युज टु से नेपाल देयर इज नो स्टुपिड क्वेसन होइन टिचिङ इज सच अ जब कि इट्स अ डुअल एस्पेक्ट देयर इज टु एस्पेक्ट्स टु टिचिङ as much as the students learn from me there's more I learn from them as well. And especially as a new teacher, I can say that. I've just got into teaching field now, 3 years ago. And they are learning from me. I learn more from them because what happens is when I'm like even I have to study to teach. It's not like I have knowledge all in my something knowledge the most of something. I can't know everything. And definitely that's like गाह्रो कुरा चाहिँ के हुन्छ नि presentation skills अलिकति हुँदैन होइन and they're not very outspoken. That's the two major differences that's going to make it. Theoretically, it's going to be very easy.
And sir, lastly, I have taken you so much time. Your message for the students who wants to pursue career in biomedical engineering, since most of the students only choose any other faculty other than MBBS and engineering as an option. They do not take biomedical engineering or any other profession as a choice. Then what is your opinion for that student or message for students?
Okay, I would definitely say like first of all, I think there's no like a particular message that I want to send to only biomedical engineering students because it does not make sense for me to choose a career for someone. But definitely, what I would like to impart is like yes, being a doctor, a very prestigious and recognized field, and definitely, don't underestimate what biomedical engineering like don't underestimate the scope of biomedical engineering basically. Because just because you hear from someone it's just about engineering and like you act like a technician going to hospitals. No, it's not that. In some parts, like I mean, in countries like America and Europe, you are as highly regarded as a doctor. And without you, doctors wouldn't be able to function. And especially like like we always have that some kind of rivalry with doctors here. Like, I mean, it's non-existent in Nepal, but we had this in Manipal. So we actually developed a T-shirt like which wrote like "We engineer doctors." So it's a very good feel, and give it a try definitely. Uh, and always remember, like to all students, whoever, like whatever field you might go into, like don't come under parental pressure, don't come under societal pressure, and look at what you're good at, study what you're good at. Right? So that's my thing. And what I want to say to all Nepali students, all Nepali students, I think it's something that implies to Nepal a lot. There's this very famous quote by some, I don't remember the name, but it's an American futurist. So what he says is, the illiterate people of the country are not who cannot read and write, but the people who refuse to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Right? So I think this is something that implies to Nepal a lot. And people who understand definitely they know what I'm talking about. So, yeah.
Thank you, sir. It was a quite. It was. I feel so good talking to you, and you have a very positive vibe that has imbibed within me. I cannot explain how much happy I am feeling now after talking to you because you have such a positive personality. And thanks for your time that you have responded after my email. And again, I will say thank you to you, sir, for your collaboration.
Definitely, definitely, Akash. It was really nice. It was really nice meeting you as well. I hope I get to meet you personally soon as well, right? And I would love to talk more about, I mean, any other questions or queries that you have. And definitely, if you have any other questions or queries, I definitely love to answer them as well. And I'm glad you enjoyed this Zoom meeting as much as I enjoyed it as well. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
हेलो सबैजनाले भिडियो हेरिसक्नुभयो देखाउँदिन दुनियाँलाई तर म देखाइरहेको छु भिडियो अब हेर्नुस् हामीले फर्स्ट भिडियो के भन्छ यो बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियरिङको भिडियो चाहिँ सकायो अब यो भिडियो तपाईले हेरेर थाहा पाइसक्नु भएछ धेरैजना स्टुडेन्टलाई त यो पनि थाहा थिएन कि नेपालमा बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियरिङ पढाइ हुन्छ म पहिला पनि भनिदिन्छु बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियरिङ भनेको नेपालमा एउटा मात्र कलेज छ कलेज अफ बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियरिङ एन्ड एप्लाइड साइन्सेस त्यो भनेको यो चाबेलको हाडीगाउँ भन्ने ठाउँमा छ त्यहाँ एउटा मात्र नेपालको कलेज छ र त्यहाँका धेरै ग्रेजुएट्सहरू धेरै राम्रो राम्रो पोस्टमा पनि गएका छन् कति तिलगङ्गामा काम गरिरहेका छन् कति युएसमा काम गरिरहेका छन् सो बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियरिङ एकदमै ब्रड फिल्ड हो म तपाईहरुलाई भन्न चाहन्छु मैले थाहा छ यो भिडियोजहरु किन करियर अप्सन बनाएको छु मेरो एउटा मात्र गोल छ के म आफ्नो टाइममा थिए भने म नेम भाइब्रेन्टमा एक्जाम दिँदाखेरि हेर्थे हाम्रो सरकारले त बनाइदिएको छ 50 जना या 200 जनाको नाउँ निस्क्यो त्यो त सेट भयो तर यो 14000 15000 जो स्टुडेन्टहरुको नाउँ निस्केन भने तिनीहरु अन्यलमा पढ्न जान्छन् के किनभने एउटा ओभररेटेड प्रोफेसन एमबीबीएस लाई मानिदिएको छ त्यसपछि अरु कुरा जति राम्रो भए पनि हामी जान खोज्दैनौ तर हामी त्यही अर्को फ्याकल्टीबाट कतिको सक्सेसफुल मान्छे छ तिनीहरुबाट थाहा पायो भने हामी धेरै कुरा थाहा पाउन सक्छौं के त्यही भएर मैले बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियरिङ बनाए रियलमा हेर्यो भने तपाईहरुलाई अगर मैले रियालिटी भन्यो भने अब लाग्ला कि आफ्नो प्रोफेसन किन भन्नु डाक्टर सबैभन्दा ढिलो सेटल हुने प्रोफेसन हो एकदमै ढिलो म एमबीबीएस गरेपछि म आईएम को छु त्यही भएर मेरो 2 साल बन्डिङ जब छ जुनमा म पाउँछु इफ तपाईले त्यो स्कलरशिपलाई 2 साल बन्डिङ दिन्छ त्यही पनि राम्रो पैसा कमाउँदैन के ठीकठाक पैसा कमाइन्छ मास्टर्स नगरे केही हुनवाला छैन मास्टर्स एमबीबीएस को झन गाह्रो किन छ किनभने एमडी को सिट्स चाहिँ थोरै छन् एमबीबीएस छ त्यसको 1/3 पनि सिट छैन एमडी को इभन आजकल एमडी बाट पनि काम चल्दैन डीएम गर्नु पर्छ सो एमबीबीएस तपाईहरुले जुन सोच्नु भइरहेछ त्यो हाम्रो सोचाइ भनेको हाम्रो सोसाइटीले हो बच्चालाई दिने बित्तिकै बाबु डाक्टर बनेस् या इन्जिनियर बनेस् तर के थियो त पहिलाका बुवा बाजेले बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियर सुनेकै थिएन राम्ररी बीएमएलटीहरु सुनेकै थिएन प्रिभेन्टिभ मेडिसिन बीपीएच हरुको कुरा बुझेकै थिएन प्लानिङ प्रोसेसिङ कसरी हुन्छ त्यही भएर हामीले धेरै कुरा थाहा थिएन त्यही भएर यो भिडियो मार्फत म सबैलाई के भन्न चाहन्छु त तपाईहरु एक्सप्लोर गर्नुस् कि अरुको के भन्छ जबरजस्तीको धकेलेपनले गर्दाखेरि अरुले राम्रो भन्दाखेरि त्यस्तो नगर्नुस् र हेर्नुस् अर्को कुरा नाउ निस्किनु ननिस्किनु मेहनत सँगसँगै अलि लकमा पनि भर पर्छ तर त्यही कुरा भएन भने त्यसमै जीवन व्यतीत गर्नु छैन के लाइफमा धेरै अप्सन छन् अब तपाई हेर्न सक्नु हुनेछ लाइफमा सबैभन्दा बढी फेल भएको मान्छे एलन मस्क थिए र अहिले कति अगाडि छन् उनको सबै कुरा जादै गयो त्यही भएर आफ्नोमा बिलिभ गर्नुस् तपाई जेबाट पनि अगाडि बढ्न सक्नुहुन्छ के एउटा मात्र हैन कि अगाडि यो डाक्टर लेखियो भने मात्र हुन सक्छ डाक्टरले के भन्छ ट्रिटमेन्ट गर्दाखेरि तपाई जान्नुहुन्छ होला डाक्टरले भन्छ यो टेस्ट गराउँ तर त्यो टेस्ट गराउन लागि जस्तो एक्सरे मेसिन देखि लिएर सीटी स्क्यान एमआरआई एभ्रीथिङ केबाट युज हुन्छ त बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियरबाट हुन्छ त्यही भएर मैले बायोमेडिकल इन्जिनियर मलाई आफै हेर्दाखेरि मलाई एकदमै फ्यासिनेटिङ लाग्यो म आउने दिनमा बायोटेक्नोलोजी कस्तो पढाइ छ त्यो बारेमा पनि बनाउने छु इभन मैले अब मात्र एमबीबीएस मा नरहेर मेडिकल मात्र नभएर बीएससीआईटी भनेको कस्तो पढायो कम्प्युटर इन्जिनियरिङ भनेको कस्तो पढायो सो मैले त्यसको रिस्पेक्टिभ फिल्डका मान्छेहरुसँग कन्ट्याक्ट चाहिँ गरेको छु टाइम पनि म छिटै पाउने छु र तपाईहरुलाई अगाडि म भिडियोहरु प्रस्तुत गर्ने छु के सरी भाइ बहिनीहरु मैले धेरै दिनदेखि तपाईहरुलाई लागि भिडियो बनाउन सकिन किनभने मैले एउटा रेस्पोन्सिबल काम त लिएको छु तपाईहरुलाई गाइड गर्ने बट आई एम नॉट गेटिङ इनफ टाइम टु लेट यु नो के त्यसको लागि म पहिलेदेखि माफी माग्न चाहन्छु तपाईहरुलाई म छिटो भन्दा छिटो गर्छु मेरो हेर्नुस् एकपल्ट इन्टर्न भएपछि मैले 2-3 साल मजाले भिडियो अपलोड गर्न सक्छु त्यसमा ठुलो कुरो चाहिँ केही पनि हैन तर यो फाइनल इयर 6-7 महिनाको हो नि एकदमै गाह्रो हुनेछ के अनि त्यही भएर अलि मलाई पनि गाह्रो भइरहेको छ अब सँगसँगै यो एक हप्तामा फेरि बिजी हुनुहुन्छ किनभने ठुल दिदीको बिहे भइरहेछ द्याट्स व्हाई म फेरि एक हप्ता चाहिँ म सायद भिडियो अपलोड राम्ररी गर्न सक्दिन होला त्यही पनि म तपाईहरुलाई जस्तो तपाईहरुले माया दिनु भइरहेछ त्यस्तै गर्नेछु हस्त बाइ बाइ सबैजनालाई बाइ बाइ